Hey. Oh, you beat me to it by a few seconds.
We did good.
We did good. We timed it out. I'm wearing a fleece. I'm not totally shaven. You look amazing. Your hair, I was just telling you before the show. I don't know how you style it, but don't change a thing. Oh, you beat me to it by a few seconds.
We did good.
We did good. We timed it out. Who's that guy in the background talking?
Why? Did you?
You look amazing.
You got to turn off your sound on your.
No, my sound is off on my phone.
Well, where is it coming from? Oh dear.
I think it's coming from your end, Miss Kelly.
Sorry, I got a couple pages open here.
Okay.
It's always a lot. All right.
All right. Well, I want to get right into something very important. First off, thank you guys for joining us. It is December the 6th. I can't believe it's December the 6th.
I know it.
We started this show on May 3rd. And for those of you keeping count at home, and I know you are, this is our 27th program. 27.
Do we give away some sort of a gift for someone that remembers that? I don't.
Yeah.
You're the only one getting the gift.
Let me just see. Okay, we're good on. Okay. Anyway, I want to. Hey, Beth Ann, and Donna and Steve.
See, I don't see those like you do. I don't know why, but that's okay.
Anyway, it is important for me to start this program. We are, by the way, going to be bringing in a homegrown talent, the great Mr. Rocco Barbato, who's going to be joining us from
homegrown, meaning from Syracuse, because I'm not from Syracuse, and some of the people watching are not from Syracuse.
I'm not from Syracuse either, but
I know it. But you're meaning someone that's from the Syracuse area originally.
Yeah. So anyway, oh gosh, you had to do that, Joe? I'm just about to get into like some serious business, and you got Joe Cortini posting.
Oh, stop it. No, Joe, I'm starving. I didn't get enough. Oh, pinch. Oh, no. I'm going to block him.
No, please don't. Please don't. All right, no, let me get right into it. First off, last Sunday, Nancy and I had the great pleasure of chatting with Miss Jane Monheit. Jane could not have been a nicer guest, and it was a wonderful program. Jane told us about life out in California, but I do want to address what I feel was kind of the elephant in the room, so to speak, and that is the fact that last week, if you were watching the show, and we know that we have our devoted fan base who watches, you see, of course, 3 screens, and you look. Hopefully, were looking more at Nancy and Jane than this face. But if you were looking carefully, you might have seen that things seemed a little bit off with me. Probably about maybe 15, 20 minutes into the show, and ideally, if I could have done it differently, I would have probably maybe, just click this button, and guess what? I would have disappeared. But I decided, no, I'm going to stick around. And people I know were a little concerned as to maybe what was going on. And so I want to just come out right now and let people know that for about 20 years now, I have dealt with something called GAD, Generalized Anxiety Disorder, which comes and goes. It'll sometimes crop up at the most inopportune times. I could be getting a haircut. I could be having dinner, going out to dinner when we used to be able to do that. The least stressful situations imaginable, and for whatever reason, I could feel, for some reason, my heart start pounding. Well, last week at about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes into the show, I had one of those moments. And I tried to fight through it. I kept my camera on, but by keeping my camera on, I realized I created a bit of an uncomfortable situation for both Jane and certainly Nancy. And so,
yes, everyone was very concerned.
Yes, and
everyone was very concerned. You don't know. We all love you so dearly, Eric, and it's like we were concerned.
people have to understand. There were times when I had a panic attack when I was on the radio. But of course, you're on the radio, you can mask it. There are times when I will have a minor panic attack where I feel I can hide it enough to the point where nobody really can tell that something is wrong. But last week, whether it was, me going to my ear or just, being very I was overly fidgety, I was conscious of it. And knowing that the only person who really knew what was going on, because Nancy and I have discussed this in private conversations, and I know that she was feeling for me, and that's why I know towards the end of the program, you even asked me, are you okay? And when you asked me that, I actually was starting to feel better because I actually, full disclosure, had taken some medication, which I have.
Thank God.
Yeah, and it's funny, it's like the American Express card, never leave home without it. I never leave home without this particular medication, which is to be used.
Guess what? Guess who else doesn't leave home without their anxiety medicine?
Nancy Kelly.
I won't even go to the store without it because this is something that I have struggled with for years and years. You don't see mine physically, but I sure feel them, and I lose it. My heart pounds, my blood pressure goes way up. I'm afraid to, it's horrible. In fact, we decided after Eric and I had talked about this is such a huge subject because we're so not alone. Many Americans are struggling with anxiety and panic. Yeah. And it's all exacerbated by this pandemic that we're in.
Right.
And we decided we're going to do a whole show about it. We're going to bring my daughter on, who also suffers with it, and how we're going to talk about how we're all dealing with this.
Yeah. And I thought that was a great idea when you said that we're going to have Kelly join us. That's going to be in 2 weeks' time, on the 20th. And I'm looking forward to that because there's something about talking about this problem and just doing it now. And it is, like we had discussed, it is kind of a cathartic feeling for me right now to share this.
I'm never ashamed to say that I struggle with it, and I struggle with it. I always have panic attacks before I go and sing, and it's getting worse.
Yeah, and what people what people are shocked to find out, and I don't want to drag this on too much because I don't want to cut into Rocco's time, is that people obviously know that I have emceed events in Central New York for 25 years, and I go up on stage, and most people, if they say, here's a microphone, go on stage, I mean, that's reason enough to start panicking. But for me, when I'm on stage, I'm in my comfort zone. And so I'm usually, that's usually my safe space. And again, people ask me, well, what do what might have caused your panic issues? I wish I knew what caused my issue last week. I mean, maybe it was the fact that I was looking at two amazingly beautiful women on my screen, and maybe I was overwhelmed. Maybe it's the underlying fact that we are going through, I mean, I'm going to put it very bluntly, a shit show of a year. And there's just so much going wrong, and there's so much depression. So bottom line is, it was very uncomfortable for me to go through. It was uncomfortable for people to watch. It was uncomfortable for Nancy, but I just want to say this. I know I'm not alone. I know that it feels good to get it off my chest and talk about it. And I just cannot thank, first off, I can't thank Jane enough, because I did email Jane earlier this week. Jane could not have been any sweeter about it, and she knows people who deal with that. But even more importantly, my co-host, but she's not my co-host. She is first and foremost, she is my friend. And
we're not just friends, we're very dear friends.
We are very dear friends. I call you like a second mother, but you have
okay with me. It's all right with me.
It's all right with me. It's all right with me.
It's all right. It might be the wrong place at the wrong time, but it's all right with me.
But you have been, again, I'm sorry to have put you through that. last week, and you kept that interview flowing so beautifully.
That's all right, and we'll move on from that, because
so I just want to thank you for being.
I think
the friend
everybody
you've
is
been.
grateful that you're talking about it. I really do. I haven't seen any comments, but I think they are. But I don't want to wait another moment, because this guy has really been a part of my music life. He did leave, but it didn't matter that he did, because he's always been in my heart, and we've all followed his fun career and what he's done. And I'm just very excited to bring Rocco on. Do you want me to play?
Yeah.
Some music first, a video? I want you guys, or would you just like to bring him
no, we got to give, this is a Vegas guy. He needs some kind of a intro. So yeah, I know Rocco sent us a bunch of materials, some pictures, and also a video. So I told him we would lead into him with some sort of a video or maybe a song. So you're the musical expert on this show.
I tend to screw this stuff up, but a couple of you people are going to be real happy with what I'm about to play, and I know who you are.
All right. I don't even know what's coming here.
Here's our Rocco. Right now.
What a great vibe.
Woo! Let's let Rocco get going a little bit here. Good. Woo! Rocco comes in. I apologize. I thought he came right in. Ooh, what did you say? Nice voice.
I mean, I guess you could forward in a bit so we can get back to rock. Already. Oh, here we go. You heard us.
Right there, okay?
Oh, he's talking to you right there with that sax.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. What do you say we bring the man himself on?
I got him on, coming on. He's coming on right now. I hope he got a chance to see some of that, man.
On.
Where are you, Rocco?
Screen share. Am I on?
You are,
but we don't see you, dear.
We just need, we just need you to
share.
Start your video.
Okay, let's start my video.
What is all this?
Uh-oh. There he is. There he is.
All right, well, we'll just go from there, right? Can you see?
Somehow Rocco is sharing. Can you actually stop sharing your screen, Rock?
Well, you told me to share the screen. All right, hang on.
No, I told you to start your video.
I'm starting to panic.
Don't say that word, Rocco. Don't say that word.
I'm so sorry.
Unshare your screen, babe.
All right. So what am I supposed to do here? You are screen sharing.
All right. So go along the bottom, and you're going to see a little.
sharing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There we
There
go.
we go.
My peoples.
Good to see you, my man.
OMG.
Yes, indeed. And
How
look
are you
at
guys. Listen, just hearing you talk about panic, I started getting hives and I started getting real nervous. My hands are
You? Oh my God.
yeah, I didn't
You
tell you
gotta
that
be kidding me, man.
when we had that phone conversation the other day. I wasn't going to tell you that, hey, before we bring you on, I'm going to kind of talk about like some issues that happened on the last show because I didn't want to kind of like throw it off, but I figured you'd be cool with it, and I just want to get it out there. And
Hey, listen, you're absolutely right, and especially in this time of COVID, a lot of people are suffering, and these things are surfacing. And you know, get off the caffeine if you're on caffeine.
No.
Get off nicotine if you're on nicotine.
Yeah.
And start exercising.
But I won't stop my wine. I'm sorry.
Well, you have to have that. Miss Kelly, may I just say, you are as beautiful as ever, girl.
I knew
Isn't
you were
she?
gonna say that, and you know
Are you
what?
kidding me?
No, man. It's just Zoom. It's a filter. I don't look like this. You want to see all my stuff? I haven't done any work.
Hey, listen, if you're gonna do that, take it down a little bit lower. You know?
Hey, whoa, whoa!
Hey, this
You're
is
gonna
a
get this
moderated
old lady going.
This is a PG show, Rocco.
Rocco, man.
Put some light on me here. Let's put a little light on me.
Yeah, we
How-
need to see
How
you.
good does Nancy? How good does he look? I mean,
How's that
come on.
better?
Oh, he's in Vegas. I mean, you
Look
can't
at-
be in Vegas and not
It's
look.
my music stand light.
Put something on you. We got to get a look at you. Look at you.
Hi, kids.
Hey, it is so great to see.
The first time, I love you guys. You know, I know you've been holding down the fort in upstate, and I am so thankful for all of you people, really. And Nancy, I'll never forget when I walked on stage and you kindly let me sit in at Ferrone's Cafe.
Oh, you're telling the story right away?
Hey, listen, man, this
Oh no, man. We were in outer space.
All right,
This is
Go.
improv, baby.
all right, get into the story. Go ahead.
Stevie Johns was on drums. Bernie Upson was on bass. Larry the King Arlotta was playing the piano. And they said, yeah, come on up and blow, man. Well, Nancy pulls out this tune called Twisted.
And 12 bar blues, baby. Don't get upset.
I crapped my pants. I was like, you know, because I was like this 18-year-old kid, man. I was like, you know, I was just starting to get my feet wet, and I love jazz. I love traditional jazz. It's my favorite. That's where my heart is. And man, when it came time to blow, I don't know what happened. I went into like a zone or something.
Did you
And
panic?
Nancy came over and just like said something. I think she like whispered in my ear. That really set me off, by the way. But she said, just blow, baby. And man, that was it for me. I was like, I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
Why would you do that to the man? Twisted, really, Nance?
She twisted.
No, wait a
man.
minute. Just a
My
minute.
mother told me.
Twisted is a 12 bar blues. There's nothing to it. I didn't ask you to play the melody, man. I can't
No.
even sing that melody anymore.
Well, I don't know about that. But
Yeah.
I do.
you killed, and you did. You're right. And it is a 12 bar. And once I caught on to it, I was like, oh, here we go. This is so much fun. I want to do this the rest of my life.
We were just listening to a wonderful, I picked that video. I don't know if you heard it or saw it when we were coming on, the video that I picked. And it was
That was, I did see it. I'm multitasking over here. I've got my cell phone, and it's a good thing that I checked my Gmail account, because I thought you were sending it to my Cox account. I'm going, how come you're not sending me anything yet?
well, I got messed up, but we got it
No,
worked out.
it's okay. We got it straight.
We got it worked out.
Listen, this is jazz. This is improv. We're good.
That's right. We're just riffing.
And then I didn't get that 3:45 notice. I was like, here we go. Let me check my other emails, because nowadays you have to have like 10,000 emails, right? So I checked and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. I'm so happy that you guys
Oh, no, I sent it to the other one, but we're here now. So that's in the past and not to worry.
Okay.
So,
But
Nance, just
tell
real
us
quick,
about-
do you remember Ferrone's, Nance?
Let me just say that I do, but it's a little foggy.
Okay, that's all. All right, that's all. Okay.
That's beautiful, man. Are you kidding me? It was amazing.
I mean,
Jerry Arlotta. Oh my
Well,
God.
Larry's gone, and so is Bernie, and
I know.
I don't know,
Larry took
Jimmy
me.
I still see, but you do know I haven't stayed in Syracuse this whole time. I mean, I've been all over the
I know
place,
that.
you know
You're in
that.
Rochester, right, Nance?
I live in between Rochester and Syracuse on Lake Ontario. So I'm kind of in a
Beautiful.
secluded, it's very beautiful.
I love
And
that.
right now during COVID, it's really good for me because I can still get outside and walk and do my thing, and it's not scary,
Oh, awesome. I'm
really
also a walker. I do 2 miles a day. And
That's all I can get. My body, my bones can't take any more than that.
That's all you need. All you need is a 20-minute fast-paced walk. That's really all you need.
Yeah, and that's what I do. That's what I do.
Nance,
So anyway, I want you to tell us about that group. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Eric. Please, what?
wait a second. I realize that I've interrupted you twice, and I'm not going to interrupt you again. But there is a comment on here, and I'm assuming that he's not a fraud here. Hi guys, tell my brother I say hi from Virginia, Jim Barbato.
Yeah, he would be the comedian of the family.
All right, I just want to make sure that there really is. I never knew you had a brother, Jim.
I have a younger brother. Jim is my younger brother by 6 years.
All right.
An older sister, Roxanne, who is older, 6 years older than me, and my older brother Pasquale, who's 4 years older. I'm the middleman.
Okay.
The only lefty in the family, and yeah, my parents raised a good bunch of people.
Yes, they did. Well, nice to have Jim watching us from Virginia. Nancy, I apologize. The floor is yours.
I don't know, Eric. I forgot what I was going to say.
Hey, Nance, I was just
I didn't.
so thrilled, and I mean, I've told you this before, and I hung out with Larry right up until his passing, and but I'm going to say it again, how humbled I was. I get emotional. I'm so humbled that you guys included me and gave me the opportunity to catapult what is now become my life in my career. And that's all I can say is I had some great people to show me the way. I was very young and I really didn't know the way. I was improvising the whole thing. But when I look back now and your stage presence and how you reacted to the audience and the tunes that you picked, and then I would look over at Larry and I'm just like blown away by the immense talent and craftsmanship of what everybody was doing, that I couldn't help myself but to dive in. And Larry was one of the two people who said, Rocco, you got to get out of here. We already did it. We did it already. So now it's your turn. You got to leave. And see, I get choked up, man.
Oh, but that's why you play like a baby doll.
So, and Bernie was my jazz father. I would hang with Bernie and, he'd put on all the old jazz albums and Cannonball Adderley and really my jazz parents and family, and Nancy, you're at the helm, you and Ronnie Lee and Larry Arlotta. And I hope I don't forget anybody, but just everybody in Central New York knows who I'm talking about. And if I forget anybody, it's not because, and Frank Malfitano.
Oh, he's still around for sure.
Right, Frank putting the Jazz Fest on, and just everything has just been so incredible. So you want to get back to that clip was at the Bellagio.
That's what I wanted to ask you, yeah.
That was about 10 years back. And that group was the group that I started with in Las Vegas. And the group was called the Stephen Lee Band featuring Rocco Barbato. We shared the building. And we were the only contemporary jazz group, marquee jazz group on the Strip at the Bellagio, which was unheard of, but we tapped into a niche, and all of those people, like myself, are just very good, heartful people and just want to, spread the joy of music and spread the love. And So that's where I really got my start. And it's a funny story how I met this gentleman, Stephen Lee. I actually brought him back to Syracuse with me 2 years ago to play the Italian Fest.
Oh, festival.
Yeah. I mean, he was my partner when I moved to town. But a long story short, Stephen Lee and I met because of, believe it or not, Joe Piscopo. When I did the 1997 Sammy Awards, which I was nominated for Best Contemporary Jazz Group and Artist, which the Larry Arlotto Award, which I was so humbled to receive. Joe Piscopo was the MC for that night.
Oh, wow.
Now,
I got to interrupt you quick. Don't lose track.
Go.
Have you heard the record he did with Joey DeFrancesco singing?
I haven't heard it.
Oh, I got to send you a link.
Wait, Nance, you're thinking of Joe Pesci?
Joe Pesci. Sorry.
That's all right. They're both
comes,
very funny.
They're both funny guys.
Comes with the territory of having no memory cells left.
They're both great. And but Piscopo, when I moved to Vegas, and these are all very long stories made short, obviously. But I spent time in LA. I studied at the Grove School of Music.
Good.
So I've been back and forth from the East to West Coast, but I never set ground in Vegas. I was never in Vegas. And after the Sammys, I did the Sammys. We did the 97 Jazz Fest where I opened for Grover, Washington, that's a whole nother story. But so I was itching to get out again. I need to get out. So I put an album together. I put a video together. I had a portfolio, not just my sax on my back, that kind of thing, I really did my homework. And so I started reaching out to some people that I knew and trusted. And a good friend of mine, Robert Pompey, was living in Vegas at the time. He was working for a dental. He works for a dental lab. He's now a dental associate. And good friend, we graduated from high school together. He also played in the Stan Colella Parks and Recreational All-Star.
That name is very familiar to me.
Right? So I called the guy up and I said, hey man, what's going on in Vegas? I need to work, I never wanted to be the guy in front. I always wanted to be the sax player behind Nancy Kelly. You know what I mean? I really, honestly, I didn't want to be the guy in front. I just wanted to be the guy in the back. Just, I'll take a few solos.
Noodling.
So I'm like, but no, the big man upstairs said, well, you're going to do that, but we're also going to put you in front because you have something to say to people as well. I didn't know that at the time, but I guess, our Lord
Rocco,
was.
did you forget to walk by the mirror, honey?
Why? What's the matter?
When you were that age, you didn't realize how handsome you were at that age.
Oh, well, I got to thank my mom and dad for that. My parents, the work ethic that I learned from my mother and father is second to none. And, we didn't grow up with riches, but they provided a wonderful life for us and a wonderful upbringing. And my dad being a construction contractor for over 35 years, we were mixing cement when I was 12 years old. You know what I mean? So we learned the work ethic at a young age. Hard work pays off. And I can't tell you how many times I came home with ice packs, 3 shows a night, 6 nights a week in Vegas, right? Anyway, getting back to Joe Piscopo, and I have to say this because, so we did the Sammys. I moved to Vegas. There was a ton of work here. I couldn't believe how much work there was, but I was shopping a 9-piece show from Syracuse, New York. I had a show. Well, they didn't have a room for that 9-piece show, and I had to fly all my people in and do that whole thing. And it's like, look, so
there's a thing I want to talk about. That's
right. I'm going to make this quick. So my wife was working at the Pasta House, Gino Ferraro's, who's also from upstate, Ferraro's restaurant. And this is about a month into Vegas. And now I'm starting to go, oh, maybe I have to get my work belt out and put my work boots on and go to work because the money's running out. I was shopping my band. Anyway, lo and behold, are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just, you're talking Vegas, so I just put up for a second a picture,
Beautiful.
a
Okay,
picture
great.
of the Vegas Strip.
Awesome. So, so I take my wife to work every night. We only had one vehicle. We lived in an apartment. And this one particular night, I happened to notice kitty corner from the Stratosphere was the Sahara. And
Oh, they always had jazz there.
that's right.
They always
And,
had jazz there, man.
They did. But they also had Joe Piscopo there. So I hurried up back to my apartment and I called and I asked if I could be put through to Joe's dressing room. This is his cousin Rocco from New York. Get me? I'm not his cousin. It doesn't matter. They don't know that.
That's how it's done, baby.
They put me through. All of a sudden, I'm sitting backstage after the show, Joe's show, which was amazing. He's a nut. I love this guy. And I'm sitting back there with Nancy. Do you remember Vinnie Falcone?
Of course. Yeah.
Vinnie Falcone. There were some suit and ties back there. I was the young kid. I didn't say much. We just sat with our hands crossed and I waited. And I made sure I was the last one out of his green room. And I said, Joe, I just moved here. I go, I need a name. And so he introduced me to the entertainment director with Stations Casinos. And
So that's downtown, right?
That's off the strip casinos, local
Yeah.
casinos. The Fertitta family, they own like 9 casinos off the strip.
Yeah.
Oh, they also do the UFC too, I think. Ultimate Fighting, right? I think the Fertittas are involved with that too.
It is, they are.
That's
And,
big in Vegas, yeah.
They're also involved with Bishop Gorman, one of the finest schools in the United States, high schools. Long story short, so I met with this, oh, there's my man.
There's your guy. There he is.
My guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Keep going.
So we ended up meeting the entertainment director, Judy Alberti, and we hit it off. And she was like, you know, I wish I could put your whole band to work. She goes, but you should go check out this guy, Stephen Lee. He's playing down at Froggy's on 5th downtown. And it might be a good match. You know,
I've been in there.
We talked, and you know how things work.
Yeah.
It's before you know it, you can't plan this stuff. It just happens this way, you know. Timing is everything. And so I met with him. I said, look, I got an opportunity, but I don't have a band. So we talked, we had coffee, we had a rehearsal, and the following week, we started working together. And it just catapulted from there. And we were working 6-7 nights a week for Stations Properties. And then before you know it, we're on the strip as a marquee show at the wonderful Bellagio.
You're
and
lucky.
that's where
That's
it all
a big
began
deal.
in Vegas for me.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
22 years later, I've been in Vegas 22 years. And it's just been amazing. It really has. I've worked so much. In fact, I look at my wife and go, you know, isn't it like after 25 years, you could kind of be semi-retired? What's up with this, you know? She goes, no, you got a long way to go, man.
You're having too much fun.
I've been doing this 50 years and I'm still working. Of course, nobody's working right now. I wanted to ask you about that. Are you working now with this?
Well, Nance, I am not. I mean, the strip, the whole
I mean,
strip,
the strip, you know, in general, is anybody working out there? Or-
the strip is dark. And I mean, we've never seen it this bad. And it's just a terrible thing that we're all going through, especially in the entertainment industry. Las Vegas was built on live entertainment. And man, it has just gotten to the point where it's a ghost town. You know, so many major shows, all the Cirque shows closed down, you know. So it's been very, very tough. I have hope. My father always told me life is a cycle, like the cycle of fourths and fifths. It'll come back around, you know. Just hang in there, hang tough. And I've been doing some teaching. I've been doing some studio work. Anytime I get a chance to put the horn in my face, it just, you know, it helps, you know. But it's very depressing. And a lot of people are suffering from depression and panic and anxiety. It's just terrible. But,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in the Lord, and I believe that if we can all tap into that, we're going to be fine. Things are going to work out.
Yeah,
So
but
that's my position in humanity, is to say it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about the world that we live in, and how our gracious Lord blessed us with this amazing world. We need to do something good with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. We've never
We're
been faced with.
We are, Nance.
We are trying, man. We voted.
Yeah, we did. I got a question, but I just want to. You have a lot of fans right now. By the way, we got about 30 people right now, Nance, watching. This is
That's it.
That's because of you.
This is amazing. So I want to just let you know that hi, cousin Rocco. Carmela from Northwest Oregon says hello.
Carmela, that's Uncle Landy's daughter, Orlando Kutri. Yeah.
Is that any relation to Al?
John, what's that?
Is that in relation to Al Kutri, who's
Al Kutri? That's my man.
Al's still living in this area. Yeah, okay.
That's my man. I gave Al his first sax lesson. Then I turned him on to Jerry Santy, the guru of saxophonists in Syracuse, New York. You know Jerry.
Well, and you just kind of led to my question. I was going to mention the comment from Carmela in the chat, and then also the fact that Dan Redmond says Red Dog says hi. Rocco, Red Dog says hi.
Red Dog played drums with me the last 2 years at the Italian Fest.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's my brother from a different mother. We grew up together, had our first band together when we were 12 and 14 years old.
And my last
Grapevine.
What was that?
Under the Grapevine. That's where we started.
And then my last family comment is that Tina is watching as well. So
Hi everybody.
it is truly a family affair. But you talked about teaching earlier, and then you mentioned Jerry Santy's name, and I want to kind of just hit the rewind button. We're going to get back to Vegas, but going back to studying under Jerry, who got to, I mean, so many people have come from the Jerry Santy tree. I mean, people like Mike Dabanowitz, I believe, and Joe Corello and Joe Whiting. What made Jerry such a great teacher?
He's another one.
Who was the other one?
Al Kutri.
Oh, Al Kutri, yeah. What is it about Jerry what made him such a great teacher and a great inspiration for you?
Well, Jerry, first off, is just a genuine human being. Experience. Jerry worked with a lot of great entertainers in his time, and he decided to go into teaching and share that with his students and what he learned. And when I first started with Jerry, I couldn't read a note, couldn't read music.
Right.
And, but I played by ear. I learned by ear first. And, and I didn't want to learn to read music. It was a pain in the butt, to be quite honest.
You're glad you do now.
Well, and Jerry told my mother, I was 12 years old when I started taking lessons. He said, look, Mrs. Barbato, he says, your son, he plays great. He's got a great tone, but if he doesn't learn how to read music, he's never going to work, you know? So he taught me how to read music. And I think I may be a little partially dyslexic, because till this day, after so many years of reading music, I still have to sit down and I still have to point out, let me go back to this. What does that measure again? But once I get it, it's done. You know what I mean? And what is sheet music anyways? You get it off the page, you put it up here, lose the music. And that's what we did with Donny and Marie. You know what I mean? I mean, we had music galore. There was so much production in the show that everything, I played with a 4-piece horn section in the show. So everything was written and you had to play what's written. So, well, once you learn it, there they are.
There they are.
Is this the current, is this currently what you were doing before the pandemic?
Well, we finished up last year at the end of the year in 2019. So we had an 11-year run at the Flamingo, which was quite amazing.
Wow.
And plus we did the touring with them too. We played Broadway. We're Christmas Broadway. We did Toronto, all over the place. We were, and just amazing, amazing people. Donny and Marie are two of the hardest working people in show business. They really are. And if they can hear me or see me, I love you guys. They're amazing, amazing.
So you were talking.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Nance.
I was just saying, how did that come to be that you got called for that chair?
Well, there's contractors, musical contractors in every town, and a musical contractor who leads one of the finest horn bands on the planet, Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns. Jerry Lopez was the contractor who worked with Donny at one point. And Donny contracted him to contract the musicians for this show. I got the call to play lead alto. I've always been a tenor man. I always played tenor.
I thought you were a tenor guy, and I kept seeing the alto everywhere. So, whoa, you know.
Well, that's what I said too, Nance. I'm going from flats to sharps, man. I'm like pulling my hair out, and then I get the charts, and I'm like, oh my God. I asked my wife, I go, listen, because this was just after my run with Stephen Lee in the group, and then I went to work with Gordy Brown, comedian impersonator, basically right. Rich Little and Robin.
Oh, I knew Rich. I have a Vegas story that at some point I want to tell you.
I got to hear it. I want to hear it.
You got to hear this Vegas story. But finish what you said. I did want to tell you, a few of your brothers are here. Dave Hanlon says hi. There's another young lady who's always here with us, Rosalind Blue. She said, you're a sight for sore eyes. These are all your people from upstate here.
How about Lenny Colella's watching too?
Lenny,
yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk about something funny with Lenny in a minute.
All right.
Eric, you thought you were going to lead this session, didn't you, bro?
Listen, I'm happy to be in the background tonight, my friend. Please. I'm just thinking we might be going to midnight with all these stories. Jeez.
In Italian, we call it chiacchierone. You know what a chiacchierone is?
I heard that one.
I got on. Chiacchierone. I'm excited. And so this is how I release my anxiety, you know?
Yeah, right?
Anyway, what were we talking about?
So how long were your shows when you did the Donny and Marie gig? How long were those sets? And how many did you do a night?
90-minute show.
90 minutes. How many did you do a night?
And we did, when we started at the MGM and we did 2 shows a night. Then when we moved to the Flamingo, we went to 1 show a night.
That's nice.
5 nights a week, right? And that's the whole thing, right?
And you weren't blowing the whole time because they got shtick and stuff they do, right?
They got shtick the whole time and this and that. Yeah. And of course, aside from that, I was also working with, and you might remember this gentleman's name, Clint Holmes.
Oh, yeah.
Who is
absolutely
an amazing
entertainer.
Jazz singer. Like Clint's from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, that's where he is. I forgot that.
And when I met Clint, Hey,
did
Clint.
You know the Shintas?
There he is.
Did you mention Clint Holmes? Yeah.
Clint is definitely one of the finest male jazz vocalists of all time. He's
wait a minute.
Nancy, like I consider
Nancy gonna get in on that.
I consider Nancy one of the finest jazz female vocalists of all time.
No,
I'll second that. Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. Thank you.
And this guy, Clint Holmes, is. Do you remember "Playground in My Mind"?
I do not.
My name is Michael. I got a nickel. I got a nickel, shiny and blue.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna find me all kinds of candy. That's what I'm gonna do. That's Clint Holmes.
Oh, okay.
That was his claim to fame. But what people didn't know is how bad butt he was.
You know what's funny is I worked. Of course, I have had this conversation with other people. Now I worked Atlantic City a lot. And you know, guys like Jack Jones and those cats, they would come and sit in my lounge. This is related to what you're talking about. Jack used to say, "Man, I wish I could do that." He goes, "If I did that, I wouldn't have a career. Like if I did jazz, like for real jazz, which is where his heart was."
Sure.
You know, and that's what you're talking about with Clint. You know, like and I stuck to my guns. I mean, I'm a diehard artist, and it's been a rough life. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Being that I feel your pain, and I feel every jazz artist's pain, because I am also internally a jazz artist.
Oh man, I hear the notes that you're hearing. I'm going, yeah, man, you're hearing the notes.
Nance, I've had to learn how to play all bags in order to work, But at the end of the day,
there's nothing wrong with that. And I tell my students now, I said, look, you got to do it all, because once you understand what the big picture looks like, wherever you end up is going to sound better. You got to pick fruit from all of those trees, man. You
really do.
You really do.
And that's what we did. I grew up, as a saxophonist, but I also grew up playing acoustic guitar. My remember my father played just a little acoustic guitar, enough to sing a few songs or whatever. And my mom and my dad, they would sing, but my mom would sing harmony. The first time I ever heard harmony was in church. My mom would sing harmony to the choir. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? That was so beautiful, Mom, So I learned how to play guitar. I learned how to play piano. I learned a little bit of vocals. I don't consider myself a guitarist, a pianist, or a vocalist, but I know it good enough to be able to do it if I had to, which brings me back to Lenny Colella.
Is he here?
Yeah, Lenny should still be here.
So Lenny came to see me at the Italian Fest last year, and he loved it. We got to talk for a minute afterwards, but then he hits me up and he says, hey, I'm doing a Stan Colella Orchestra 2020 record. He goes, and I'd like you to sing a song on it.
What?
I go, why aren't you calling Nancy Kelly, man?
No, they don't even no one likes me. I'm a pain in the butt. They don't like me. I'm a purist, man. They don't even want me in the room.
Oh yeah, Lenny's here.
I've been giving them all the nervous shit. Oh man, she gonna know when the notes ain't right and all this. I'm ripping.
Listen, if they were smart, they would listen to you.
Yeah, I'm just ripping off, man.
So Lenny, he goes, hey man, he goes, can you fly in and do this recording of Louis Prima's Just a Gigolo?
Love it. Perfect for you.
And I go, man, you can't afford me to fly me in, pay for my night off with Donny Marie. I go, just send me the track, man.
No.
I'll record my stuff here in Vegas on my software, and I'll send your engineer the track, plus my sax track. He goes, you can do that? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I recorded the vocal, and I recorded my sax track. Eric, do you have it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Nance, do you?
Where is it? Is it in the Dropbox that he said?
Nance, you got to hear this thing, Nance.
Well,
I want to hear it. Where is it?
I can bring it up right now. Hang on. Rocco's. Yeah, it's actually titled Rocco's Gigolo, but it's
No, wait a minute. Is it in the Dropbox?
It's in the Dropbox. Yes.
Okay, so let me get it because I can get the audio correct on it.
And while we're doing that, I just want to, give a shout out to Clint Holmes, because this man is amazing, and I will be working with him again as well. And as well as Donny Osmond, God willing, his show opens up August 31st. Donny's going solo at Harrah's. So we're just praying for good things to come for everyone and everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just Vegas, but everywhere, because
no, absolutely. No,
I got to come back to do the Italian Fest,
Well, if I know you're there, I'll get my sorry ass in there.
Well, listen, I'm going to keep in touch with you, and if I come back, I want you to come up and sing with me.
Oh boy,
I'm not going to sing.
I got to say, Rocco, when I think of Festa Italiana, please, don't take any offense here. But the first name that I will always associate with Festa was the late great, you got it, Jimmy Cavallo.
Oh wait, let's play a little bit of this, okay?
Here we go, Just a Gigolo, yes.
It's not, we don't have any.
everybody, let's sing a song now about the
Just
gigolo.
audio.
Here we go. I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, people know the part I'm playing. I paid for every dance, selling each romance. Oh, what they're saying. There will come a day when youth will pass away. What will they say about me? When the end comes, I know there's just a gigolo. Life goes on
Keep going.
without me. I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go, people know the song I'm singing. I paid for every dance, selling each romance. Oh, what they say. There will come a day when you will pass away. What they say about me? When the end comes, I know there's just a gigolo. Life goes on without me.
Everybody.
'Cause I ain't got nobody. Nobody cares about me.
cut out
Nobody cares for me.
Wow.
There you go.
So I'll admit, when Rocco sent me the materials to use for the show, I did not expect to hear Rocco Barbato on vocals, but that was fun.
I did a whole I did a whole show. I had a show that we ran a little bit with I don't know if you know who Giacomo Gates is. He's a jazz singer. You do, Eric.
Very well.
Yeah, we did that show, the Louis Prima. He and I
That must
did
have been
that.
a blast, man.
Oh man, it was great. We toured around a little bit with that. It was kind of cool.
Now, when I moved to Vegas initially, one of the first guys I seen when I moved here was Sammy Butera.
Oh yeah, Sam Butera was the real deal, man.
Come on, man. Are you
The
kidding me?
real deal.
And I was like, I went up to him after the show and I said, Mr. Butera, I said, I'm a new guy in town, a young sax player trying to get my feet wet. Do you have any, inspirational thoughts for me? And he looked at me and he goes, kid, just keep blowing the horn. Eventually you'll get there.
Wow.
And he was right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been an amazing ride so far, and we're not done. We're still going.
Oh my God, no, I don't want to be done.
No,
As long as
never.
I can stand. I mean, I'm older now, and I have issues. You know what I mean? We all do. It's like,
We all have issues, Nance.
man. It's like, but I want to go sing. I can't wait to go. Somebody just called me today for a New Year's gig that I might take.
Take it.
No names, but he's
Yeah,
very
no.
famous.
We won't mention the name.
Your other guy, Jerry Weldon. What?
He's my boy. Oh my God.
Jerry Weldon's one bad. Hey, Jerry, if you're out there, you one bad mofo, man.
Man, he's nasty.
I need to take some lessons with this guy, man.
He's nasty, and he's so fun. That's a long story how I got hooked up with him. It's not a long story. I was on a gig in Philly. We were on we used to contract out of New York City a lot because I lived there for a while too. So what we did a wedding in Philly, and Neil Miner, who's a great bass player out of New York, he goes, I got to you got to meet Jerry Weldon, man. You two are cut from the same mold. And not that long after I recorded a record. I called Jerry. I said, you're the guy. And of course, we're still dear friends. Every once in a while I say, hey man, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's amazing.
Crazy.
Man, he plays with so much. He plays from the gut, man.
But it's the old school blues based, that screaming sax, man. He's bad, and he's got all the jazz riffs, like the notes, man.
Oh yeah.
He's got all that life in his horn. And you and I both, I'm sure we like a lot of guys for a lot of reasons.
Absolutely.
Who is one of your biggest influences?
I mean, honestly, Nancy, they're all of them.
That's right.
Cannonball,
A good answer.
all of them. Charlie Parker, Coltrane, Zoot Sims. We can go down the road. I'm going to tell you though, the very first sax player that captured my ear was a man by the name of Boots Randolph.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Nancy, you're going to love this little bitty story. I was a little boy and I would go to church every Sunday with the family. Well, this particular Sunday, I went with my godfather, and he had the 79 Lincoln Town Coupe with the 8-track player in it, right? So we didn't listen to no Boots.
Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse, New York. We didn't listen to no Boots on the way to church because, you know, we're getting ready to go to church. So after church, on our way home, he puts this 8-track in, and I hear The Shadow of Your Smile.
Woo!
Boots Randolph. And I looked at my uncle and I go, what is this? He goes, oh, this is Boots. And I was like, Boots, who? You know? Anyway, The Shadow of Your Smile was one of the first tunes I learned on the tenor saxophone. And ever since I heard that sound, I was hooked. I was hooked. And it was Boots Randolph of all people, but Boots was a bad dude too. You know what I mean?
You know, I think when I've been listening to your stuff before we did this show, first of all, I love this kind of jazz. I have always been a fan of this. That band kind of blew me away because I've been in Vegas, I've played in Vegas, and I never expected to hear a bunch of people that had that much taste and space and like seasoned jazz people, man. I was like, wow, how did you? I want to know. You'll have to tell me. You don't have to tell me now if you don't want to. But there's Boots.
Yeah, little picture of Boots. Yeah.
Yeah, good one, Eric.
Well, Nancy knows. I mean, you drop a name and immediately.
You're the pro, man. You're the pro.
You know, actually,
my right-hand man.
Nance had a question, but I was just curious, Nance. Could we maybe take 30 to 45 seconds? Do you have in that Dropbox, just because Rocco mentioned Charlie Parker, in there is Rocco playing a little bit of confirmation?
Oh, yeah. It's a studio recording I did at my house, and I did a tenor and soprano sax duo.
Yeah. So any chance you can maybe just play a snippet of that in the Dropbox?
Oh, I think so.
Beautiful. We work so well together.
I think so.
He's the yin to my yang.
You guys are great. I'm so happy that you're doing this, both of you. The world needs music.
Oh, well, we do all kinds of shows. We
Amen.
don't just do music. You got the 2 horns going. Woo! Go!
Yeah.
Can't wait to get on stage with me. Come on, let's do it.
I can't wait, man.
Let's do it, man. I'll fly out.
Listen, man, I've been studying this whole damn time just to get back on stage with you.
If not, man. I'm old now. It doesn't matter. I'm like lazy.
Hey, listen, you can say whatever you want. Everybody who sees you, knows you, and hears you think much differently.
Absolutely. She is so self-deprecating, but that's what I love about her, though, you know?
Yeah.
It's true, though. But I'd say this, Rock. I mean, going back, and we met each other 20. That was like the first time I'd ever heard you play, like classic jazz. I always associated you with that pop,
That's your heart, man, right? That's
pop
your
sound.
heart.
But you sound so darn good playing straight ahead.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that so much, man. I'm humbled, and you know, I don't know. You know, I've talked to a lot of, you know, the people that came before me, and they're like, man, you were born in the wrong generation, man. You know, and I would hear that a lot as a kid, and I'm like, yeah, but you know, that's when I was born, man. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know,
you can't stop what speaks to your heart. You can't change that.
Can't change
stop that, man.
But you know, I've learned to, and I love all great music. It doesn't matter if it's jazz, rock, funk,
What
rap.
did Dizzy say, man? There's only one kind of music, good music.
Thank you.
That's what Dizzy said.
And that's Dizzy. So,
You know, and
Miles didn't say nothing. Miles just turned around and walked off the stage.
he made it
He
okay.
played one note and said, I'm done.
Hey, did somebody just mention Dizzy?
You're crazy. All right. Someone needs to straighten. Never mind. I want to know someday about the story about that crooked horn. I've heard so many crazy stories.
It's, you know, jazz, traditional jazz. You know, I can go and play a funk gig or a Donny Marie show. When I get in my car and I'm driving home, and you could ask my kids, my wife, it's like, what's on? What do I have on? Sirius XM jazz.
Yeah.
I'm listening to jazz, man, because that's where my heart is. You know, it's always been there.
And you're smart. You figured out a way to do your thing and make money and make a living and support yourself and your family with music. I mean, it's just an unbelievable blessing in your life. And you know, when you're an instrumentalist, I have to say, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. I mean, you know, I'm the person, so I can't be in all these different shows. You know, it's like it's tough. And
I know.
It's wonderful what you've done and gone out there. It's cool.
I'm just grateful for really, Nancy, heartfully, I'm grateful for every opportunity that I've ever had in my career. Again, I'm very spiritual about what I do. And, you know, I pray before I get on stage, and I'm singing praises when I get off of the stage, because that, to me, that's what it's all about.
Amen.
It's not about Rocco Barbato. It's about you. It's about the person that is sitting in the audience. You know, to me, that's what it's all about. It's about sharing our God-given talents and bringing joy, or if I can bring a tear to your eye by playing a few notes, then hey, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I learned that at a young age, that it's not about me. It really isn't. It's about everyone else. And I'm just a vessel in this amazing world that we live in right now. Not so much, but we're going to get there. We're going to get better. We're going to get better. They're going to get a vaccine, and we're all going to go back to doing.
We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right, man.
And music can heal us while we wait for that vaccine.
And we need that, you know.
Yes.
And if you ask me, music is essential.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Nance, we got a lot of things in the chat that I kind of wanted to throw out to Rocco. Just some great comments. People, Tim Ditterline saying, "Love you, Rocco. Miss playing with you."
Oh man, Timmy D.
Jeff Martin, guitar player here in Central New York. Love the stuff that you did, Rocco, with Robert Conti.
Robert Conti and Matt, Nancy, you would love this guy. Bebop jazz guitarist from South Philly.
Oh, Nancy knows a little South Philly.
I lived in Philly a long time.
Robert Conti is like this just jazz. He's got his whole lesson plan. He's got like 18,000 books, and he's just an amazing technical wizard, guitarist, jazz bebop player. And he asked me to do an album with him years ago. And I said, man, I got to be honest with you, man. And getting back to jazz, Nancy, you can't just get up on stage and play or sing jazz. That is a life of.
No, you don't plug into jazz.
You don't plug into that,
No.
man.
And my other famous phrase that I coined is, singing or playing a jazz tune does not make you a jazz musician.
No, it does not. It's a life journey. It's a journey. And you know, I was doing so many different things at the time that this Robert Conti asked me to do this record with him.
Yeah.
I said, Robert, I go, we're going in the studio, right? So if I needed to, like, you know, do a takeover or something, we're cool, right? And he goes, look, man, he goes, one take. And I go, Robert, I mean, you're just throwing the stuff at me right now. He goes, man, if I didn't think you could handle it, I wouldn't throw it at you.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't
Well,
do
I was
too
like,
well.
well, okay, so we kind of got in a little argument.
No, you don't have to do one. I mean, come on, singing is not. Does he sing?
No,
What's his name?
he's a guitarist.
Yeah, well, that's why he would say some stupid thing like that. Because, you know, let me tell you something.
Why? Because he was a guitarist.
No, because he doesn't know about singing. You don't go in, you know, one take is not always going to happen, man.
Right.
So, but listen, I want to tell you, I was literally on my toes, like standing on my toes for the whole session. I did not hit the ball, the heels of my feet. I was on my toes and we were playing bebop, man. I was like, I was panicking, man. But I taught my sons, right? My sons were football players growing up. And I said, look, you know that nervous feeling you got in the inside of your belly? I go, don't let it take you out. I said, because that is the very thing that is something very special is gonna happen because of those feelings.
Right.
Something amazing is gonna happen. And how do I know? Because to this day, I get on stage, and Nancy, you understand this. You get those feelings in your gut. It's like, here we go, baby. But they're nerves.
You still get those butterflies, Nance?
Mine goes a little further than that. I have problems, but that's another whole.
Well, we all have problems.
I'm dying. I gotta tell you, my face.
Man, salute.
Oh, what are you? You're having water. I'm having a little vino
That's
blanca.
Hey, you've earned it. I'm still on the water.
Well, it's too early out there. So I got to tell you my Vegas story because everybody will get a kick out of it.
Is this the Rich Little story?
Oh, I've known Rich Little for years. He was always at my shows in Atlantic City. You got to understand, we all know each other. We're like a pack of thieves, all of us.
Anyway, talk Vegas, Nance.
All right, so here's my story. So do you know Steve Rossi? He's passed now. Did you know
Yes.
Steve Rossi?
Yes.
Martin and Rossi. Okay, so Steve got a hold of me. I don't know how. He had my record or something. And he goes, I want to do a show in Vegas with you. I'll do the comedy, and then you come up with your jazz band. You know, I'm like, I would ease the star. You know, I would come up first with my jazz band. So I said, sure. So he flew me out there. But I get out of the cab, and I'm downtown. I'm at Lady Luck. So do I need to say anything else?
No.
Okay. So I'm looking around, and here's the bass player standing over there, and he looks like freaking Elvis. I'm going,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm in so much trouble. So he brought in these guys. None of them were jazz players. I will name no names.
That's
You
cool.
probably know them all because they're probably out there. And I did it for like a month, and it was so bad. No, and Rossi's bringing everybody in, like Rich Little. He's bringing all his pals in the lounge.
Yeah.
You know, you guys see Nancy.
Crazy. And you know, Steve Rossi was very good friends with Gordie Brown, comedian impersonator that I was working with for 7 years. We backed Gordie Brown, who's amazing. I think we have a clip of Gordie too. But
I gotta finish my story because there's more to the story.
Oh, more to the story.
There's more to the story.
Well,
So
let's hear it.
The band was just not, it was so bad.
Right.
That one night I popped a gourd and I walked off the bandstand and the casino fired me.
Oh my gosh.
Well, hey.
Hey, but I couldn't take another minute of it. I couldn't take
another minute of it.
But it's too bad I couldn't. If I had hung in there long enough, because I was starting to learn the names of the serious cats, because there were some serious cats in town.
Of course.
Santo, there was some serious players in town.
Tom
Savino,
Hall.
Santo, different guys around. But I couldn't. I didn't last.
You said Santo, the drummer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him with Tom Hall. Some of my very dearest friends in this town are cats over 80 years old.
Well, yeah.
And I mean, I'm telling you, like, if I need to lean on somebody, I call these cats up and they're still there for me, man. They're like,
Yeah,
hey,
I
you
know
know,
it.
times are tough or whatever. Like, hey,
Yeah.
man, we're doing a jam session at Doc, I forget Doc's last name, not Severdson, another Doc. But you're welcome to come over, man, and blow with us, man, you know? So there's still a lot of great people around, though. You know what I mean,
I
Nan?
should come out just to see you. If you're doing something where I could come and sing, I would love that.
Well, we're going to make it
I mean, you're
happen.
not doing a big show, you know.
Not only we're going to make it happen, but we're going to have you with Clint Holmes because you guys would tear up the freaking place.
Oh, it is. I have to have Marie get me on the Weight Watchers.
Actually,
Well, let's get this straight now. It's Nutrisystem.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
I was just.
and Marie
And I
just
want her to introduce me to whoever did that for her.
Marie just left the chat,
Great,
unfortunately.
man.
Marie just signed out. She's like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
right.
Hey, Rocco, you know who I would love to see on the same stage at the same time?
Yeah.
I'd like to see Rocco Barbato. I'd like to see Nancy Kelly, and I would like to see this gentleman.
Ah,
Oh, that would be fun. Oh, look at you
Wow.
up there.
Now that would be fun.
Mr. Paul.
Tell us what that was all about. You and Paul Schaefer.
Well, a good friend, trumpet player friend of mine, David Perico, he does the pop strings in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Wonderful trumpet player. He was the contractor for this gig. And Paul Schaefer did a residency at Caesar's Barge. And I was asked to play tenor sax for Paul's mini residency.
Yeah.
And this was, so I did some singing, some background vocals with Paul. And I blew a few solos.
No.
And he introduced me. I didn't know how to take this, Nance. He introduced me one night as the John Coltrane of Las Vegas.
Wow.
Well, I would say that was quite a nice compliment.
Okay, that's what I thought. too.
That's a nice compliment,
I thought
man.
that was a great compliment. But, you know, when I start playing, I'm not thinking as much as I am reacting to the
Yeah, but
sound.
first of all, there's something you need to realize.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what the hell they're talking about. So, so to him, that was a compliment. Like he wanted to connect you with a heavy cat.
That was,
So he was giving you a compliment. Whether or not you play like Coltrane was insignificant. He was
Right,
just giving you the biggest compliment he could. It's like when people walk up to me and go, "Wow, you sound like Diana Krall." I don't sound like Diana Krall, but thank you.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
well, what I do is when I'm in character as the singer, I mean, oh, thank you so much. You know, I would never go, what's the matter with you? But they're giving you a compliment, man, that to them, they want to show you they know something about the music, man.
Yeah, and Paul Schaefer was amazing to work for. I mean, he's just a master, you know, he's one of the masters. So
Yeah.
we had fun, man. It was a fun gig.
You know, and a lot of people, they see cats like that have a gig like that. And you know, let me tell you something, Paul can play.
Oh, can he
He
ever?
can play. You know,
Yes, he can.
same thing with how, you know, look at all those. Oh, never mind. I could get where you and I need to just talk for 3 hours.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna
I'll
talk.
leave. Hey,
No, it's so fun. I'm so excited.
I wanted to ask you, Ron. We talked on the phone earlier this week, and I wanted to certainly bring it up in the conversation on the show. Your boys, you've got 2 boys
Yeah.
and a lovely wife, Vittoria, right?
Yeah, Victoria.
Yeah.
Victoria Cirillo Barbato. And my oldest, Braxton, just turned 21 not too long ago. And my youngest, Brandon, is 19. So, man, it's been, what a ride, man.
And they've grown up in Vegas.
Yeah.
We're West Coast kids, man. It's a little bit different because, you know, Victoria and I are like East Coast, ma, dad, and my sons are like mom, dad. In fact, my son came home from school one day and he's like, "Hey, dad." And I go, "What did you call me?" He goes, "Dad." I go, "No, man, it's dad."
Dad.
Dad. Hey,
Well,
daddy.
I got to tell you, another amazing blessing in my life, because I worked nights, I was able to raise my sons, take them to school, be a part of their life. My dad never had that opportunity. My dad worked during the day. You know, he was dad, and my dad did everything for his family and us. But my life being in the entertainment business, I was working at night primarily. I didn't get home until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, for the first couple of years, it was just my wife and I raising these guys. And I didn't sleep for 2 years straight, man. You know, I slept split shifts, and, you know, we're very fortunate. We're very
Well, you were
lucky.
young, but you couldn't do that now, but boy, oh
No,
boy.
no. And,
Are there musical careers ahead for your boys, or no? Are they not looking in that direction?
well, my oldest, Braxton, is in college for business management, and very sharp guy. Maybe some piloting down the road for him. We don't know yet, but he's taken like 6 pilot classes to become a pilot. So, you know,
Does he look like you?
he's actually my twin.
Wow.
Because you look like a pilot.
No, this dude looks like a pilot, man. About the only thing I can fly is pull up my zipper. That's the fly.
Oh, man.
But this dude
Be
is
glad
like,
you can still do that.
yeah. I know.
Well, everybody loves.
My
Everybody-
youngest is, I just wanted to say, my youngest is
Yeah.
into film.
Oh,
And, I actually had my youngest with me in California. I was asked to teach an actor how to learn how to play a saxophone, and
That's cool. Yeah.
and it was cool. So I was teaching this kid, and I'm like, and the director said to me, "Look, man, if this kid doesn't know what he's doing, this whole thing's gonna flop." The Power of Us Entertainment, Eric, and I sent you that as well. It's a story about an obese high school student who's got talent, amazing talent, and but he was bullied his whole life, and because of his obesity, you know. Anyway, I was asked to teach this kid. Well, this director was persistent. You know, he says, "Look, man, if the guy doesn't know how to look when he's playing, of course he's going to be miming to the whole thing. Then this whole thing's going to flop." And I said, well, halfway through, I said, do you have tracks that I can work with him on?
yeah.
Like, we don't have the tracks yet. And I said, well, this is kind of what I do for a living. I'd like a chance at these tracks to, be the sax guy. And they heard me once, and they're like, okay, you got the gig. So now I'm in LA going back and forth from Donny Marie to do this movie called Butter, Butter. And I think did I put that in there, Eric, as well?
I don't think.
I did all the sax tracks for it, and it came out amazing. It's
Let
the
me see if
first.
I can find it.
It's
Was
the
it in
first
the
movie-
Dropbox?
Yeah,
This
it
time
should
I
be.
won't. I apologize, everybody. Apparently, I accidentally shared my.
Butter, Butter.
I don't see this. It's not in the. I got 50/50 slow motion spell. I don't see butter.
Okay, well, that's fine. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. I'm just giving it a plug out to Paul Kaufman, and The Power of Us Entertainment is where you can find it. The Power of Us Entertainment.
Huh.
And it's making life better one story at a time.
Wow.
And so it was an amazing experience. And I got to go to a film release and sit there with all the big wigs and listen to myself on the big screen. It was pretty amazing.
And in your journey from Syracuse to Vegas, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a brief time where you were in Los Angeles, right? And you lived in LA briefly, but it wasn't for you though, LA.
That is correct. Well, I studied at Dick Grove School of Music with the likings of super sax, Med Flory, and Jay DeVersa, trumpet player with the Stan Kenton Big Band, and Peter Erskine's and Joel DeBartolo with the original Tonight Show band. Ernie Watts, Nancy, your man Ernie Watts.
I recorded with Ernie.
Yeah.
He's a bad dude, man. These are some scary folks, man. You
Right.
know? Talk about anxiety and panic.
Yeah, I would say, want to play with a little fire, Scarecrow?
Man,
Oh, man, don't get up here. Don't get up on here.
Well, so when you were done at Grove, though,
yeah. So I spent some time in LA to answer your question.
you did, yeah.
And I
yeah.
wrote my first album while I lived there. I was working construction to survive, man. Up until I was 28 years old, I always had to have a day gig, man, to support my passion, which was music.
That's smart.
And, until I moved to Vegas is when everything clicked. It was timing, the timing was right. But yeah, I lived in LA for about 2 years and actually wrote the first album that catapulted my career with the Sammys and BET on jazz. And, it just snowballed from there, a lot of hard work, but just amazing stuff.
I just remember the first time I saw you, and a lot of the ladies would come up to me and say that this guy he's got a Hollywood look. Like, I mean, you never considered, did you ever consider putting music aside and thinking, you know what, I probably could get a couple of roles in
that's a whole thing too. And if
a couple of people told me that I looked like De Niro a couple of times.
Hey,
I beg to differ. And some people say, oh, if you look like Clint Eastwood, then no.
It's such a Wait a minute. I gotta come out there because we'll crack everybody up.
Yes.
We'll crack them right up.
Hey, listen, instead of Donny Marie, it'll be Nancy and Rocco.
Oh man, we'll be legit on top of it.
We'll have Jerry Weldon come up. He'll be like a guest.
Oh, Weldon's the guy, man.
I love that dude, man. I wanna sit down and have a sausage sandwich with Jerry.
Oh, sausage!
Yes, man.
Oh, wait a minute. Speaking, since you just mentioned a sandwich, it'll give me a chance to sneak this in. Once I realize we're heading towards 8:30. This came
God,
back.
we could talk for another hour.
We really could, but this came in the chat. Probably this might have been like an hour or so ago, and it was from Jim Barbato when you were talking about touring with Donny and Marie.
Yeah.
And Jim said this. They said they did DC too, and since I live close, I picked up my bro, brought him back home to my place, and made him a beautiful fried eggplant sandwich, as he says. And he says, ask him when he played DC with the Osmonds, did he like the Capitol more or the sandwich his brother made him? So.
Well, that's an easy answer.
Okay, yeah.
But I'll leave that up to you guys to figure out.
Oh.
So I had to, man. My horn's next to me.
I mean, your horn's been.
You're just restoring all of us, Rocco. You're restoring our hearts.
I love the tree. Yeah, the tree looks great. Yeah. The tree looks great. And I just will never understand, having lived the East Coast my whole life, I'll never understand how the song Winter Wonderland or Let It Snow feels when you wake up in Vegas weather. I mean.
Christmas music is, aside from traditional jazz, well, Christmas music is traditional jazz if you really listen to it.
Oh, it is. I'm just saying I'd rather see
really
snow.
well written.
Well, how do you, well, you make it work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you this, man. I don't miss scraping ice off of my windshield, bro.
I didn't think you did.
Shoveling my apron in my driveway to get out, and it's 2 degrees out. I don't miss that. I don't. I want to play golf in January.
Vegas was fun. Vegas was really fun.
I do miss my peeps. I miss my peeps, and I miss the food.
Well,
yeah, I was going to say
you're the food capital of the country. All the great chefs have.
Yeah, you're right. But people ask me, Rocco, when you go out for Italian food, where do you go? And I say, I don't, because
no, not the home cooking's not there.
The home cooking's not here. Ma's meatballs.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you make the best meatballs in the world.
You know who taught me how to make meatballs? Guess.
Larry Arlotta.
Larry Arlotta.
Oh, really?
He goes, Lance. He gets me over to his house. He goes, Lance, come here. Sit down. He goes, watch this. He goes, look. He's like, no, watch me.
Oh man,
oh God.
He was a trip. I mean, I got a chance to go down to New York with Larry and Frank Malfitano for a jazz convention. And Larry was in the process of trying to market his CD. He did 2 CDs kind of concurrently. And, Frank was kind of giving him showing him the ropes on how to, but there's a lot of industry people there. And this was Larry's chance to kind of, get known on a bigger, grander scale. But just the interactions alone in the hotel. And I think we were in Frank's room, the 3 of us, and just Frank and Larry, and you know them both. Both of you know them both well. It was a trip seeing Frank and Larry, and Frank's talking a mile a minute, and Larry's, it was,
yeah, man.
Gosh, yeah. But
well, you gotta, nothing against you, bro, because you're the guru of jazz, brother, broadcasting.
Well,
absolutely. I listened to your stuff when I lived in Syracuse. I was following you, man. But come on, Cohen, and then you got Arlotta and Malfitano and Cohen.
Right. Yeah, I know. I didn't have a vowel at the end of my name.
Like the Irish mob, you were like the guy in the center.
Don't worry. Hey, Rocco, we straightened him out, man. Don't worry about it. We worked it out.
There's
I wanted to kind of sneak this in and have you talk a little bit about this Livewire band, if you don't mind.
Okay, so just before, Stephen Lee, you'll see Stephen Lee. He was my partner when I moved to town. We put a band together and started working together, and many years later, and been extremely great friends ever since we met. Just the most genuinely kindest human being that you'd ever want to meet.
He looks
he's the guy in the middle, and he's a sweet man.
Who's that gentleman next to him? Is he the bass player?
Yeah, that's
he's
Keith
bad,
Mel.
man. I saw a video you sent me. He's a bad dude.
Yeah, Keith's a bad guy. Keith's actually the bassist.
He's got almost a Jocko sound, man.
David Foster. Keith's working with David Foster.
Ooh, that's the top of the mountain.
Yeah. So I mean, these guys are all world-class players, and again, just what a privilege for me to be able to just be included with, Nancy, Ronnie, Larry, Stephen Lee, Jeff, Adam, Keith, and Donny and Marie. It's just been, I can't put it into words. I really can't, other than saying that I'm humbled and gracious and thankful for just the most amazing people that have been in my life, and that I've learned from, and that I'm still learning from. But that group was supposed to come out last year, and COVID put us to an end. I'm sorry, not last year, in July.
Yeah,
we were supposed to do our first show, and kind of COVID screwed us up. So God willing, once this whole thing passes and we get a vaccine or can be treated, please get the vaccine out there, and then we can regain consciousness and get back to what we were doing.
Yeah.
Some heavy stuff, heavy music, jazz on steroids. That band is
right. Nancy's ready to say something. I can tell.
I don't know. I was going to say we're at where we usually end.
We're kind of.
I wondered if you would play us off again. But before we go, I just want you to tell you that everybody in the chat tonight they're just electrically excited about this show, and everybody's made. This show will be up you're on Facebook, right, man?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Facebook guy, but I do say happy birthday to people and stuff,
I'm a huge Facebook person.
All right. Well, I'm going to say happy birthday to you.
I just had one, and it was a big one. Anyway, you can go back and watch this again.
Yeah.
If you
I'm
want
afraid to.
No, come on. Man.
Your mother's meatballs came up in the chat as well.
That sounds like you're yelling at somebody. Oh, your mother's meatball.
Mother's meatball. Yeah.
See, you know what you missed? We are the gritty people. The Syracuse I had a choice between working a lot in Rochester when I'm up here, between Rochester and Syracuse. Nothing is like Syracuse. There's no city. They're all just the down to earth, most honest people on earth up here.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's hardworking. We don't.
But that's what you took to Vegas with you, and that's why you are where you are.
My hometown is still in my heart.
And you'll agree with this, Rocco.
What's that?
I put this music scene and the people who currently play here, or people like yourself who've moved on. I put the Central New York music scene and the Central New York music legacy up against anywhere in the country.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the quality of guys, and we've dropped a lot of names tonight: the Jimmy Johns, the Ronnie Lees, the Joe Raposo.
Is one of my favorite sax players, man, of all time.
Joey Corello's.
Don't get me going. I mean, Joe Romano from Rochester. I could start naming the names that came out of here that would just blow your mind. But we could go on like this forever. Maybe we got to do this.
One quick shout out.
Please.
It's one gentleman that I do work with, and he does the American Songbook. He's an amazing vocalist. His name is Michael Cavanaugh. And I work with Mike. I do about 8 to 10 dates a year with him on the road. And he's just amazing. Check out Michael Cavanaugh, and you'll see more. Or you can go to my website at roccobarbato.com, and it shows some little clips of who I've worked with over the years, and some really cool stuff to check out, But I wanted to mention his name as well, because he's provided me with some work, and he's just an amazing talent. So,
and
if I forgot anybody, I'm heartily sorry. We don't have 3 hours. Maybe we can do like a voice chat with Nancy or something.
And I want to let people know, we didn't get a chance to show it now, and Rocco's going to play us out. But if people go to, I think on YouTube, there's a cool clip of Marie Osmond and you.
Oh yeah.
I have that way. We could go another minute. Let me get that.
It's only 30 seconds, but it shows how her appreciation for you as well. If we have time to sneak that in, and then Rocco can play us out with whatever he chooses.
All right.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, man.
Hold on. Now I got to make sure I do it right, because I didn't do it right the last time, and people were like, "Oh."
No, you got it, Nance.
Here we go. Here we
go. She's awesome, man. Hard-working woman right there.
Very cute saxophone player. Will you give us a little sax something?
Oh, absolutely.
Anything you want. This is for all the people out there.
That's great, man. That's awesome.
Oh, she's like, come on.
That's great, man.
She's a little body like I am.
Yeah.
It takes a tough chick to hang out in show business, man. I don't care who you are. It's a tough chick.
Yeah.
That's right.
My friend,
would you dare tell her age?
Who, Marie?
Yeah.
She's 29 forever.
Well, thanks to certain things.
That's what she says. She goes, I turned 29 again. So no one really knows how old she is.
We'll go look on Wikipedia.
Yeah, right.
There you go. There you go. Get me in trouble, man.
Well, if you don't mind, if you would, oh wait, here's the last comment, and then play Jim Barbato. Rocco is a blessing to our family, and the older he gets, the more he can go on and on and on, just like my mom.
Ah, oh.
Hey, don't talk about your mother like that.
Hey.
There you go.
Hey.
Little practice thing there.
Nice.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. Happy everything to everyone.
Oh.
It's a nice nice resonance you got in that.
I mean, some of the most beautiful songs ever written are holiday songs, no question.
Yeah. That's the note, man.
Man, a
Aw.
lot of magic comes out of that horn right there. Whew.
I'm so inspired by you guys doing this, and thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, you just lifted so many hearts, Rocco.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Well,
I mean-
I did it because of you and Eric for putting the show together. So,
Well, listen, I
very
reached
thankful for that.
I reached out, you said yes, and I'll tell you what, I mean, coming out after last week where, I obviously had some issues during the show, but this show tonight, I mean, you just made us both feel so good. And
I'm so high, I don't know what to do. I was wondering what I was doing at Ferrone's. I should have just hung out with you, man.
I told Nance you were going to be telling a story. I didn't mention Ferrone's. I didn't know you were going to tell it right out of the chute, though.
We
So,
also
all
put
right.
the Daniel Webster's together, Nance. Daniel
I
Webster's,
remember that.
and maybe Sakura's too. I don't.
Yeah, well, you were always there at Sakura's, and
Yeah.
you've sat in there too as well. We always brought you up.
well,
Nancy, I'm so thankful that you included me. Thank you so much.
Well, you know what? Do me a solid, brother.
I got you.
Do me a little solid.
I got you. You
This
know.
time, just don't have no Elvis-looking dude waiting at the airport.
No. We'll take care of you, Nance.
well, I'd like to be on that trip
My
to see it
name isn't
happen.
Steve Rossi.
Hey, listen, God bless. Happy holidays. Good health to you and your wife and your boys.
Thank you so much. Joe.
And listen, I mean, we know this is going to be a difficult holiday season for all of us collectively, but with our faith, we're gonna get through this, and there's gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel, and music is a way to allow us to just escape into our own worlds, and you've made that happen, and Nancy's made that happen, and
Yep.
this
You're
couldn't have.
making it happen, Eric. Thank you
Well,
for that.
Well, this
Thank you
show
for
has been
coming.
so fun for me, and so I just want to thank you for making this one of our absolute favorite shows. People can visit Rocco's website, roccobarbato.com, and be sure to join us next week. We're going to have the lovely Miss Carmen Bradford
Yes.
joining us from out in Los Angeles, but
Come and sing with the Count Basie Orchestra.
that's right. With the
Okay.
Just the Count Basie Orchestra.
but listen, man, you're
And that's all, folks.
thank
Nighty night, everybody.
Thank you, Rocco. You're the
guys.
best. All right. Happy holidays. God bless.
God bless you too. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.